Hello everyone. So I wanted to take a moment today and give you a little taste of the things you can learn and what we're going to be creating in my newest class. It is called Mixed Media Backgrounds Volume 1. And what it is I am teaching at least 8 backgrounds, so we're going to be using lots of fun supplies. The supply list is public, so you can go onto my website and go on the supply list and take a look at all of the products we use. Currently, the first 3 lessons are available, so when you purchase the class, you'll have access to those 3 lessons immediately and right away. The rest of the lessons 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, are incredibly interactive. So in the Facebook group, we're going to do polls, and you guys get to pick some of my supplies that I'm going to use for my backgrounds. This makes sure that you are sure to be able to use some of the supplies that are in your stash. So I've started here by creating a white background using some heavy body acrylic paint. I'm just smearing that on. I'm using this amazing Catalyst wedge tool that is lovely. It's just lovely. So I thought I would take a couple minutes and talk to you a bit about my ideas of mixed media. So first of all, I don't think that every layout you create needs to have mixed media on it, but I do think it is a super fun thing to have a couple go-to techniques that you can pair with some photos when you really, really want to be able to create something a little more artistic. I also think that mixed media on a layout should have purpose. I don't think it should just be like a mess. That is just my personal opinion, and that doesn't mean that people that make messy layouts, I don't like them or anything like that. I love them. But for me, myself, I need to have a reason why I'm putting these medias on my layout. I need to have, think that the aesthetic for my layout will benefit from the mixed media, different things like that. So another thing is that I am very committed to the fact that of people understanding what that term means, mixed media. Mixed media just means that there are 2 different mediums on the layout. Just 2. Any more is fine, and layered backgrounds are definitely a part of the class, as are watercolor backgrounds. We're going to be creating a lot of different fun ways to use these products on your layouts. So what I'm showing you here is I have 4 tubes of Shimmer's paints. These Shimmer paints are part of the Alchemy kit, which is one of the new pigment splash kits at Spiegel Mom Scraps. I think she still has some of the Alchemy kits in stock, so if you're interested in getting those, you can use my code to grab one from the shop. There are 4 different kinds of metallic Shimmer's paints in there. So Shimmer's paints, you need to stir them up. So what I'm doing there is I'm just taking the back end of a paintbrush, just a thin paintbrush, and I'm going to go ahead and stir it up so that all those mica flakes are fully incorporated into the paint. Now I'm going to use some wide flat brushes. I have enough brushes there so that each paint color gets its own brush, and that is going to provide me with the ability to quite quickly, without having to switch too much between supplies, get layers of paint on. So Shimmer's paints are not terribly opaque. They have color and they have shimmer, but they look best when you give them 2 to 3 coats on a background. So I'm going to be using my flat brushes. I'm going to go ahead and use each of these 4 colors. You'll see that I'm letting the colors dry a bit between coats. So I have that 1 coat there, and then I'm going to move on to the gold paint again, giving it a stir with the back of a paintbrush, the paintbrush handle, just to get that mica and all that shimmer incorporated into the paint, and then the wide flat brushes. Wide flat brushes are, for me, a critical and essential tool when creating a painted background. I want those wide, flat brush strokes. I love brush strokes. I think that they are beautiful and really cool on a background. I really, really like them. So, excuse me. The class is going to be, it's $20 right now. And then on Friday, or right around the 6th or 7th, it will increase to $25. The reason for that is because so much of this class is interactive. So much of this class is you know, I'm overseeing so much of it very closely that I want to make sure that everyone gets the very best experience with the class, and the best way to get that experience is to go ahead and get the class before the price goes up. If you are worried about not being able to finish the class or not being able to complete the class currently right now, don't fret. My class is forever. My classes are forever available to you. But by purchasing now, what you get is that Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, we are taking polls so you can help to pick the products we use. I'm going to do some Facebook Lives just to demonstrate some techniques, and also so that you can ask questions. And even if you just buy the class now, do the interactive portions, pop in for the Facebook group so that all of your questions can be answered, then you will get the full effect and the full, you know, all of the information for the class. If you purchase the class later, everything will be in the website, everything will be on the Facebook group, all the content will still be there, but you won't have the interaction that you'll get if you get the class now. So just keep that in mind. Don't feel stressed that you need to buy the class and then immediately start creating pages. You don't. But if you buy the class now, you'll get all of those interactive parts so that when you have time to create the pages, you have much more resources and you'll have a better idea of exactly what you're doing because you'll have had support. So you saw me there. I went through all 4 of the Shimmers paints, and now I'm going back to the beginning, right? Because I've let that first color dry a little bit, but I want another coat. This is key. Mixed media backgrounds are not something that you want to do quickly. I know we don't like things we get impatient, right, when things dry, but that's how you get the very best results. If you have just a couple of minutes to start a background, that's great. That's perfect for a mixed media background, because allowing it to cure in between you will get so much better results. So much better results. So what you want to do now is I'm going to go over the rest of these paints, and every time I put a layer of paint on top, I'm getting more of that shimmer and more of that shine, and I'm getting more of those beautiful, beautiful brush strokes. And it's really allowing me to build color, and that's what we want. We want this layout, we want this painting the technique that we're doing to just punch away from that navy blue cardstock. So I'm just going to continue on here with all of the colors. I have the entire process recorded here. I didn't leave anything out because that's how I do the class videos. The class videos are full background process. You get to see the whole thing from start to finish. And I don't have they're not process videos where you're going to see the entire process of the video. You're going to see the entire process of the background, because I want you to be able to make these backgrounds yours. I want you to be able to use the colors that you have, the colors that you like, and to be able to create a beautiful background. Okay, so I'm going to go continue on here, just adding layers and layers of paint. And because I'm using the 4 colors, by the time I get to the last color, the first color is dry enough that I can add another layer of paint. I'm also going to go ahead and allow this to dry thoroughly before I create a layout. So you want it to dry thoroughly, and then you want to put under something, a hard iris container. For those of you taking the class, if you have seen that I use a lot of the hot press watercolor paper throughout the class. It's my favorite paper. But if you have cardstock, just plain cardstock, you can use plain cardstock. This is what this is. This is just plain cardstock. And it's not even heavyweight cardstock. It's just regular cardstock. The only difference between that and using a heavier paint is that it takes a little longer to dry, and you've really got to put it under like a stack of heavy stuff, or you will end up with a really, really warped sheet of paper. But this one, you're going to see it's really warped now, but once the layout is finished, it's dry. Okay, so next, what I'm going to do, Hold on a second. Am I adding another layer of paint? Oh, okay, I just am. I think what I did was I let this dry a little bit, and my first color was too dry for me to do what I wanted to do next. But what I'm doing now is, okay, these are little tiny hexagon glitter. It's rose gold glitter. It's part of that alchemy kit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle these little hexagons onto the still tacky paint. And then I'm going to take a completely dry brush. I'm going to take a dry brush. Hold on a second. This is kind of the funny part about doing something where you have the entire process there. You tend to have these parts of your video where I'm like cleaning up and stuff. So that's always fun though, right? Because you get to get a little bit of a chattiness while I do this. Okay, so this is what we are doing. I am going to put a light layer of color, and then I'm going to sprinkle on these rose gold hexagon glitter. Now, to make sure that the glitter sticks to the paint, because I don't want the glitter to fall off, right? I have this bone dry brush, and I'm just tapping it. You can see here, just a little tap, a little bit, and all that's doing is it's kind of pushing the little hexagons down into the paint, and that way they will stay stuck. And I did this layout quite a few days ago, and today there is still no hexagon glitter falling off the layout. Totally good. So if you'd like to see the rest of this layout and how it came together, you can run over to the Spiegel Mom Scraps YouTube channel, and the rest of the process will be over there. I kept the videos separate just because it was my day to post on the Spiegel Mom Scraps channel, number one, and number two, this is a lot of video. I didn't think you guys wanted a half-an-hour process video, which is why in the class I don't do the process videos. I just do the background process because that's the focus of the class. So you can see here I'm just continuing on. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put one light final coat of paint onto these areas of my background, sprinkle it with the hexagon sprinkles, and then I'm going to go over it with that dry brush. So you can find my website down below. I'd love for you to join the class. I'd love for you to join our Facebook group and to really enjoy the process of creating beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. Here's a close-up of what the finished layout looks like. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye!